Who's this Deku, and why do all the pros want to adopt him? By 80sGayTrashGoblin. Chapter 26, Pretests. Pony giggled as her classmate complained incessantly. She could tell that Tokage was getting annoyed, but Hononuki found it just as funny as she did.
How come 1A gets to do things while we have to do this?
Because they took their quirk assessment test yesterday.
Vlad King sighed, already looking done with their class.
But why?
Because Aizawa is crazy,
their teacher said.
Now, please step up and stop asking questions.
Pony and Hononuki shared a glance, giving each other a nod. They were definitely grilling their friends about what they did today. She may have picked up some of her friend's competitiveness. Oops. Thankfully, the second day was calmer than the first. It was the usual class schedule, with his teachers just going over expectations, syllabi, and icebreakers, which was just fine with Hitoshi. Yesterday was terrifying enough, thank you. It wasn't a complete clusterfuck, though. He thinks he made some friends. They stuck around the second day, despite his personality. Actually, he and Jiro were pretty similar, which was kinda cool. Anyways, Hagakure was talking about the support student she met yesterday, who agreed to meet them at lunch. Hitoshi didn't think that much of it until he spotted the table. There was a girl with pink curls and goggles pushed up onto her forehead, excitedly chattering instead of eating. Next to her was a girl who was more spider-like, listening and occasionally pitching in. And across from them both was a boy with green curls and freckles that haunted his nightmares. Rabbit. Excuse me, y'all. He thought he escaped his days as a Starbucks barista, and yet here's his most terrifying regular. Now, Rabbit wasn't rude or particularly chatty. Hell, he even left fantastic tips. They didn't know his name. He always signed with the little rabbit shape. But that wasn't unusual either. Plenty of customers signed with the nickname. No, the truly terrifying part was the order. If Hitoshi was being generous, he would call it a murder weapon. If he wasn't, he'd call it a violation of the Geneva Convention. Just when he thought he couldn't get worse, Hagakure called out,
Hi, Midori-kun.
And Rabbit looked up.
Hi, Hagakure.
Rabbit responded with a wave.
Nope,
Hitoshi muttered, turning around. But before he could escape, Jiro grabbed his arm and dragged him to his doom. Hagakure had taken a seat next to the kid who could probably fight God, so the rest of them sat at a table that Uraraka had dragged over. Introductions were made while Hitoshi shoveled food into his mouth so that he didn't have to talk. He learned that the crazy lady was Hatsume, the spider girl was Tisserande. Although she was French, so she preferred to be called Annabelle, or Anna for short. And that Rabbit's real name was Midoriya.
Alright, why are you so afraid of Midoriya?
Jiro asked.
Do you know him or something?
He shrugged through a mouthful of food, while Midoriya spoke up for him.
Kind of. On my morning jog, I pick up Starbucks before I go to the post office. He was usually working when I came in.
Yeah, we're all scared of you.
Hitoshi responded.
It's not just me.
But why?
He just gave Midoriya a deadpan glare.
Anyone whose daily Starbucks order is a legal murder weapon should be feared.
At the end of lunch, when he followed his friends back to class, Hitoshi had a horrible moment of realization. He was now friends with Midoriya. Toru chatted with Uraraka and Jiro, holding her costume case close to her chest as they entered the locker room. They were taking some sort of pretest, but All Might didn't tell them much more besides that.
Oh,
Yamamoto called out, pulling out a note.
a couple of my friends in the support course made some changes to our costumes.
To the tune of the other girls chanting, "Show us!" Yamamoto pulled out her costume. It was pretty much the same as what she ordered, except that it came with a cape and a headset. According to the note, the cape was made of fireproof materials, and the headset was a quickly modified baby of Hatsume's to look up chemistry things for her quirk. The only addition that Hatsume and Midoriya made to Asui's costume was the addition of some sort of neck pillow thing to automatically regulate her body temperature. To Jiro's costume, they added padding to her jacket and pants, as well as boots she could plug her jacks into to amplify vibrations. For Uraraka's costume, they actually removed what used to be heels on her boots, and thickened up the padding of her bodysuit so that her costume provided actual protection. Midoriya added a full 4-page rant about why fighting in heels is a stupid idea. They had removed the heels from Yamamoto's boots too. Toru nervously opened her case, eyes wide when she was met with a costume she didn't remember ordering. Jaw dropped, she pulled out the letter attached.
Me and May rushed to get this done yesterday, but thankfully the Hatsumes let us use their fiber spinner. I won't bore you with the details. Your old costume was a literal crime. It had no protection and was showing way too much skin. I don't think She's Invisible will fly with the Hero Commission. So here's the new one. It's a full bodysuit made out of your hair, so it's invisible and it's still invisible and padded. The parts that are visible can turn invisible with you. Even the belt and sunglasses. The sunglasses are meant to protect your eyes from your own flashes, while the invisible sections of the gloves are meant to act as a sort of magnifying glass. Deku and Hatsume Inc. That is sick,
Jiro said over her shoulder.
Try it on, try it on!
Uraraka cheered, shoving her into a changing stall. With a nervous giggle, she let her friends close the stall behind her. She changed as quickly as possible, stepping out to let her friends judge her. Most of the bodysuit was invisible as described, but there were a few opaque spots. One was a striped pastel blue and pink sleeveless crop top area with a cutout of a star on the front and back. The second were shorts that ended just above her knees, with the front being blue and the back being pink. Her boots were also opaque, going up to her calves with gold accents around a pink star shape. Her gloves were the most similar to her old costume, although now they had cutouts like the ones on her chest, along with padding on her knuckles that she was a little concerned about. Her belt was gold with a pink buckle, and it felt like it was made of some sort of rubber. Finally, were the sunglasses, tinted dark gray and shaped like an anime character's.
You look so good! Wow. That's pretty cool. You look good, kiddo.
Toru blushed as Jiro looked back at the note she had somehow pulled out of Toru's case.
It says your costume should turn invisible with you.
To the chance of try it, try it, try it, Toru stepped in front of the full-body mirror and pictured a glass of clear water, like she practiced yesterday. In front of her eyes, she disappeared, as if there was no one standing there at all. She let go of the mental picture, turning to face her clapping classmates with a bashful smile. That was until Yamamo pulled out her phone and gasped.
We need to go, before we're late.
Izuku bounced up and down excitedly, a little recorder in his hands. Netsu was perched on his shoulder and Mei was bouncing next to him. Support students don't have the same extra period that the hero students do, unless you're Netsu's student. So Mei got permission from her parents to stay and watch her babies in action. The pretest for 1A was also a pretest for Izuku. Netsu had always gotten Izuku's analyses in their final polished form, and he wanted to see the raw unfiltered process. Yagi and Keigo were explaining the rules and dividing up the teams while Izuku opened his laptop, making sure that all his extra cameras were connected and working. Of course, they were all being manned and guarded by the 4th Raccoon Battalion.
Me and All Might will be on the ground, while Netsu will be keeping an eye on you from here,
his brother said, gesturing with his wings.
Now, Team J, you have 5 minutes to prepare your defense. Team A, you have 5 minutes to memorize the layout of the building and strategize.
Yagi started to cheer.
Go beyond! Plus Ultra!
Team J versus Team A match. Voice recording snippet.
Inasa and Uraraka had the right idea, using both of their strengths to their advantage. Uraraka floated the bomb above the building, and they decided to stay up there and guard it. It's a good strategy, since Inasa's quirk is ideal to protect the bomb while it's in the air. It looks like Shinso and Kirishima have a plan, though. It seems that Shinso is going to use his quirk on Inasa in order to get him to bring the bomb back down, while Kirishima fends off Uraraka. Given the circumstances, it seems the best plan they can get. Kirishima's quirk is close range, though, and it isn't going to help in a fight against Uraraka, so hopefully his combat skills can help him there.
So, you're still okay with my quirk?
Hitoshi deadpan, following his classmates back to the viewing area.
Of course!
Inasa cheered, still extremely loud.
A hero should do whatever they can to save people, especially with the least amount of violence. Yeah, it was pretty manly,
Kirishima said.
And it was smart,
Uraraka piped up.
I probably wouldn't have thought about asking Inasa to bring the bomb back down.
You guys were manly too,
Kirishima said again.
Floating the bomb was smart. I definitely wouldn't have thought of that.
Don't put yourself down,
she responded, bouncing over.
You'll be a great hero too.
Yeah, I'll focus on my strengths and leave the thinking to someone who is better at that sort of thing.
Inasa interjected this time.
Teamwork is an important part of heroics, but the most important part of being a hero is having a passionate spirit.
One of his friends, Yadorozu, if Hitoshi remembered correctly, smiled and said,
Passionate spirits, but cool heads.
That is correct. Thank you, Yadorozu.
I understand your passion, but this is an indoor space and I have to ask you to quiet down.
Hitoshi ignored whatever argument was happening in the corner when Midoriya bounced up to him, getting a little too close for comfort.
Shinso, your quirk is so cool. How far is its limit? Can you control multiple people at once? What sort of commands can you use? How does it feel on your end? Can you use it on me?
Yayorozu came over to gently pull him away from Hitoshi, which he was very grateful for.
Izuku, maybe you should slow down and breathe for a bit.
Well, I have used my quirk on you before,
he said, before realizing that he just admitted to illegal quirk use.
Really?
Midoriya asked, looking confused but still excited, and not scared, thankfully.
When?
No digging his way out of this now.
Sometimes you would come in looking even more tired than usual. So, when you ordered, I would use my quirk on you, give you an empty cup and order you to leave.
Oh, so that's what was happening. By the time I snap out of it, I'm usually on my way to the post office. So I thought I just blacked out ordering and drinking my Starbucks.
Hitoshi looked up to see something wiggling in Midoriya's hair, and out of the corner of his eye, he could see Hawk-sensei flying up to one of the cameras displayed on Midoriya's laptop.
Midoriya Izuku!
He could almost see the moment Midoriya's soul left his poor body.
Keigo, it's not what you think,
he said, plucking the red feather from his hair and running back over to the laptop.
Uh-huh. May, has he been drinking coffee?
Hatsume, who had procured a bowl of popcorn from who knows where, completely ratted her friend out.
Yep. He orders Starbucks every day on his morning jog.
May!
His teacher started screeching.
You know you're not allowed to! Grounded! You are so grounded! Grounded forever!
Midoriya groaned.
You don't even have the authority to do that.
I so do! As both a pro hero and your older brother, so you're double grounded.
Principal Nezu, who was still perched on Midoriya's shoulder, patted his student on the head.
I do have to agree with Takumi-kun. The amount of caffeine you ingest is very unhealthy.
See? Triple grounded!
As he slumped in onto the monitor with a groan, Hitoshi felt a little bad for him. But only a little. Anything that stopped Midoriya from ingesting those war crimes was a good thing. Team G versus Team D match. Voice recording snippet.
Asui and Ojiro look like they're using sign language to plan, which is smart. And a nice surprise. I can't see what they're planning from here, though. I think Yamamoto and Sero are making traps around the bomb. Sero is leaving tape traps around the building and in doorways, and Yamamoto seems to be making her traps centered solely around the bomb. She's making parts. It looks like she's building something. Hatsume, I added the blueprints of my babies to... blueprints of my babies to the OWL headset. She's definitely building one of May's inventions, then. Hold on, is that a robot shark? May, you see that too, right? That's definitely a robot shark, right? Hatsume. Oh yeah, that's Felix the shark. How do you plan around a robot shark? It's not looking great for Asui and Ojiro.
Team H versus Team E match. Voice recording snippet.
Tenya, please stop planning so loudly. It is physically killing me. I'm pretty sure it's not helping Jiro either. This is the first match that the defensive team has thought to spy on the offensive team. Sato is on the roof, and it's not the most ideal hiding place, seeing as it's broad daylight, and the shadow would be easily visible. It's not a bad spot either. People rarely look up. Tenya is basically handing the defensive team on a silver platter. The defending team's strategy is solid too. Tokoyami is on the bottom floor, in a room with no windows and one door, guarding the bomb. His quirk is extremely powerful, especially in complete darkness. It's almost guaranteed win for Sato and Tokoyami. Team I versus Team F match. Voice recording snippet. There isn't a single brain cell between Kaminari and Ashido. They don't even plan. They're just gonna guard the bomb and wing it, which is a terrible strategy. They also have the same problem that Ida did. They're very loud, which is a problem when Shoji is essentially has super hearing. Where is Captain Mickey going? Oh, he's going to talk to Koda. I forgot that Koda's quirk is that he can talk to animals. Yeah, it's over for Kaminari and Ashido. I trained the 4th Raccoon Battalion well. Toru held her breath, slowly creeping through the building.
The entire building was frozen solid, so she covered her mouth with her hands so that her breath didn't give her away in the cold air. She knew which floor the bomb was being hidden on. She managed to catch a glimpse of it, basically using her invisible hand as a telescope, which was pretty cool if she did say so herself. So she's going to tag the bomb while Inasa distracted Aoyama and Todoroki. Apparently, Inasa and Todoroki were friends, and they were also friends with Midoriya. So Inasa was the most qualified distraction, other than his quirk. Toru was fully invisible, making sure she stayed cautious as she crept to the second floor. She could hear Inasa fighting the other team on the roof, but she didn't want to risk it if one of them decided to double back. She looked around, scanning the room with the bomb quickly. Before she could double guess herself, she grinned, releasing her invisibility and sprinting to the bomb. She slapped it so hard that she accidentally dented it.
Team C has won!
All Might's voice boomed over the intercom. She had a wide smile on her face as she threw open the window. Inasa floated down to where she was leaning out. Toru jumped out, feeling the wind catch her and land her gently on the ground.
We did it!
Chapter 27. Media Shitstorm. Hitoshi glared at the crowd of reporters around the main gates, standing a few meters away with his friends.
Alright, what's up with the media shitstorm?
Well, news of All Might and Hawk's teaching at UA was bound to make its way to the media,
Jiro muttered.
Hey guys, what's up? Oh.
Kirishima ran up to them, stopping next to them while they were observing the swarm.
You think Sawa-sensei will excuse us for being late?
Hagakure asked, tapping her chin.
Don't worry, I've got this.
Kirishima stepped forwards, cupping his mouth with his hands. What startled all of them was when he shouted. It sounded like it was coming from the other side of the reporters.
Look, it's All Might.
Excuse me. The reporters started running, trying to chase the scoop. Carpeing the DM, Hitoshi bolted through the gates, his friends and Kirishima following them.
That was pretty sick,
Jiro said, once they were safely on campus and starting to walk to class.
Thanks,
Kirishima said gratefully.
I had a ventriloquism phase in middle school.
Can you teach me how to do that?
Hagakure asked.
It would be super useful.
Me too,
Hitoshi muttered.
Stealth heroes.
Hagakure cheered, holding up her hand for a fist bump, which Hitoshi returned.
Yeah, I can totally do that,
Kirishima said with a wide grin. Why was Hitoshi's face going red?
Here, let me add you to the group chat.
Jiro whipped out her phone from wherever she stores it. He's half convinced it's a secondary quirk, and started to enter Kirishima's number. A little while later, Hitoshi pulled out his phone from where it buzzed in his pocket. Guitar Hero to Hypnotoad, 8:14 a.m.
Gay-ass motherfucker.
Izuku, what the fuck? Izuku chugged the second monster can. The first was already empty.
Keiko banned me from coffee. He never said anything about energy drinks.
Tenya started arm chopping.
Energy drinks are bad for your health.
Isn't Monster banned in India?
Momo pointed out, sipping her thermos of tea.
It's not in Japan, though.
You know, I think we were worried about the wrong hero killing you,
Juzo said.
We were all afraid of Endeavor turning you into a crisp, but I'm pretty sure Hawks is gonna get you first.
I'm not afraid of being permagrounded,
Izuku muttered, taking another sip of his drink.
I can get anything I need through the Raccoon Army.
I think the power is getting to his head.
Shoto turned to Mei, who was watching Izuku furiously while scribbling things down. Are you going to do anything?
No. I'm getting extra credit from Netsu if I record Broccoli-chan's slow descent into madness and turn it into a research paper. A slow descent?
Izuku muttered.
Damn, I gotta hurry up.
Yeah, you say that like he isn't already crazy. Okay, I am changing the subject,
Chinya shouted.
We elected our class representatives today. I was elected as class representative and Momo was elected as vice representative.
Actually, Inasa was elected class rep, but he wanted to give it to Tinya, and the rest of the class went along with it, Shoto said.
It was a very heartfelt speech,
Momo said.
I think I saw Kirishima crying in the back.
I never intended to make anyone cry, but I'm glad my words touched people's hearts.
Inasa shouted.
How about 1B?
Momo asked, trying to diverge from the shouting.
Did either of you get elected?
Oh no. You know none of us are responsible enough to be elected,
Juzo said.
Honestly, I wasn't paying too much attention, but the girl who's been raining Monoma shit in is class rep.
Tokage nodded. Honestly, the test for the rep is if they can deal with Monoma. What about 1H?
Pony asked.
Yeah, everyone knows the support students are the crazy ones,
Juzo muttered.
You're not wrong, Mei said. Majima-sensei pulled me and Broccoli-chan out of the running for representatives. To be fair, the first thing we said when we entered the classroom was, "Won't be a baby-making machine,"
Izuku responded.
I don't blame him.
I've got to agree with Power Loader on this one,
Juzo said.
Between the Raccoon Army surveillance state and the trail of explosions, neither of you are fit to be in any position of authority.
Izuku was about to rebut about how he was not building a Raccoon Army surveillance state. That was the Crow surveillance state, actually. Thank you very much. When a screeching alarm went off. Izuku grabbed his caffeine vessel and his laptop. Mei picked him up, running to the side of the cafeteria opposite of the herd of people, while Izuku chugged the rest of the can and clutched his laptop to his chest. He and Mei watched out the cafeteria window as the media swarmed the campus.
The reporters shouldn't have been able to get in,
Izuku muttered, throwing the empty can into the garbage bin. Mei set him down as Izuku slipped his laptop into Mei's bag.
I've got an idea, but I need you to distract the media.
She held out her arm for a fist bump, which he gladly gave her.
Leave it to me, Broccoli-chan. Are you an aspiring hero who needs support gear but knows that most support companies are cheap and don't offer you high-quality equipment?
Mei forced herself in front of the cameras, posing for them.
Are you an investor, disappointed in the current options out on the market and interested in new, fresh ideas? Well, say no more. At Hatsume Inc., we believe in providing the top-of-the-line support gear at fair prices without compromising the integrity of your vision. With fresh ideas, we can give you the support gear you need to make your heroic dreams come true. Find the final piece of your costume in your career at Hatsume Inc. The reporters started to boo her, shouting for All Might and Hawks as the teachers started to show them out. Undeterred, she continued to shout, "If you want to get top-of-the-line equipment, call 555 HOT SUME. That's 555 HATSUMA. Make your heroic dreams come true at Hatsume Inc." Majima-sensei sighed, walking over to where she was still posing.
What are you doing? And where is Midoriya? You two are glued at the hip.
She grinned. "Distracting you."
Where's Midoriya?
Hatsume just made jazz hands. Izuku knelt down, wedged between a tree and the gates to UA. He took in the wreckage with a frown, noting that the damage was relatively clean with no traces of fire or cutting. However, it does look like it was disintegrated. The edges of the gate were sloped and dusty, and there was dust laying around. If a rabid journalist had a disintegration core, they would have gotten in long before now. Someone let the reporters in, but for what purpose? He held out his hand, dragging his fingers through the dust. It was fine, with some of it sticking to his fingertips. He stuck out his tongue, noting that the security cameras around the gate was an unfortunate casualty as he raised his hand. "Please do not eat the dust, Dekiru-kun." Izuku looked up to see Nezu walking towards him, with Auntie Kaina trailing behind him. "Sensei, someone let the reporters in." "It would seem so. When we did a sweep of the teacher's lounge, nothing was out of place. We'll do a more thorough search later, once the reporters are off campus," Auntie Kaina said. "But everyone was more concerned with the vultures." "We should take this conversation into my office," Nezu said, hopping onto Izuku's shoulders. His teachers had done that often enough that he shifted his balance instinctively, following Auntie Kaina back to the main building. It didn't escape his notice that she took them through the forest so they wouldn't be spotted by the reporters. "Izuku, why is Majima calling me?" Nezu slid a cup of tea to Izuku, who took it gratefully. I was planning on going over your notes from yesterday, and looking through what you caught and what you missed. But due to today's events, we'll be switching your lessons around. Pull out your laptop. I'll be teaching you how to use UA's security systems."
Nezu, I wasn't expecting to hear from you.
"Detective Sukaruchi, I have an update on the case." Oh, alrighty, y'all. Thanks so much for coming and listening along. As you guys could probably tell, I'm still not 100% better from the coughing, so my voices aren't as good as they normally are, but I hope you guys still enjoyed. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe down below if you haven't already. And yeah, I look forward to reading more in the next episode. I'll be trying to come out with more of these episodes than I've been in the past couple of weeks, so look forward to that. With all that being said, ciao for now, lovelies.